Imagine being born into a world where your freedom isn't yours, where every step you take is controlled, and every breath you draw belongs to someone else. That was the reality for Harriet Tubman, born into slavery in the early 1820s in Dorchester County, Maryland. Her original name was Araminta Ross, and she grew up in a large family constantly threatened by separation, as enslaved families were often torn apart without warning. As a child, she was hired out to different households, where she endured harsh conditions, physical punishment, and emotional trauma. One of the most defining moments of her early life came when an overseer threw a heavy metal weight at another enslaved person, but it struck Harriet instead, causing a severe head injury. From that moment on, she suffered from chronic pain, sudden sleep episodes, and powerful, almost prophetic dreams experiences she later interpreted as divine guidance. In her late 20s, after years of hardship and the fear of being sold further south, Harriet made a life-altering decision: she would escape. Leaving behind everything she knew, including her family, she traveled nearly 90 miles on foot, navigating through forests, swamps, and hostile territory. She followed the North Star and relied on secret support networks, eventually reaching Pennsylvania, where she experienced freedom for the first time. She would later describe that moment as feeling like she had crossed into heaven, but freedom alone did not satisfy her. Harriet believed deeply that she had a mission, almost a calling, to return and help others escape the same chains she had broken. What followed is one of the most extraordinary chapters in American history. Harriet Tubman became a central figure in the Underground Railroad, a clandestine network of safe houses, allies, and secret routes stretching across the United States. Over roughly a decade, she made around 13 missions back into slave-holding states, guiding enslaved men, women, and children to freedom. She used incredible tactics, traveling mostly during winter nights to avoid detection, communicating through spiritual songs with hidden meanings, and relying on trusted contacts known as station masters. Her deep knowledge of the terrain and her ability to remain calm under pressure made her almost unstoppable. She carried a pistol, not only to defend against slave catchers, but also to prevent anyone from turning back and risking the entire group. Her determination was absolute. She famously declared she had never lost a passenger. As tensions in the United States escalated into the Civil War, Harriet shifted her role but not her mission. She worked for the Union Army as a cook and nurse at first, caring for wounded soldiers and freed slaves suffering from disease and malnutrition. But her talents quickly extended beyond caregiving. She became a scout and spy, using her experience navigating the South to gather critical intelligence. Her most remarkable military achievement came in 1863 with the Combahee River Raid in South Carolina. Working alongside Union forces, Harriet helped plan and guide the mission, which successfully destroyed Confederate resources and liberated more than 700 enslaved people in a single night. It was an extraordinary accomplishment and marked the first time a woman in U.S. history led an armed military expedition. After the war, Harriet settled in Auburn, New York, but her fight for justice was far from over. She became an active voice in the women's suffrage movement, working alongside leaders like Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She spoke passionately about equality, drawing powerful connections between the struggle for racial justice and the fight for women's rights. Despite her immense contributions to the nation, Harriet faced financial hardship and had to fight for years to receive a proper military pension. Yet even in her later years, she continued to dedicate herself to helping others, eventually opening a home for elderly African Americans, ensuring that those who had once been forgotten would be cared for with dignity. Harriet Tubman passed away in 1913, but her legacy only grew stronger with time. Today, she is remembered not just as a former slave who found freedom, but as a fearless leader who risked everything to change the lives of others. Her story is one of resilience, faith, intelligence, and relentless courage. She transformed pain into purpose and fear into action, proving that even in the darkest circumstances, one person's determination can illuminate a path to freedom for countless others. Her life reminds us that true heroism lies not in escaping hardship, but in turning back to lift others out of it, again and again, no matter the cost.